Friday. Welcome everybody to a Flawed Man of God's reaction and reading of the Bible. My name is Stuart Davis. I am a deacon at a small church just outside of Richmond, Virginia. I am here to give you impressions, thoughts, and just general reactions to what I'm doing as I'm going through the Bible. Now, the overall scope of this channel is to give you exposure and just kind of a peek inside the mind of who I consider to be an average Christian, and that is part of what the idea is here. If you are interested in learning more about God, if you're thinking about beginning a relationship with Him, if you just want to share in the experience of going through the texts, this is where we've got. If you're interested in going through listening to other people's takes and opinions and reactions to things that go on in the Christian community at large, what it means to be a Christian, different ideas, that is what this channel is for. That is what I'm here to do. And this in particular with the Bible, I've said this before, the Bible can many times give people the impression that it's a book of rules. It's very stern, and it's very dry and boring. But no, there is a lot that goes on. There is a lot to learn from narrative there, especially in the Old Testament, and especially in the beginning of the Old Testament, which is where we're at right now. We're in Exodus. We just started the story of Moses, and Moses is, obviously a very dynamic character. And when you think about that, and we talk about the Bible having this very dry, people often having a dry opinion of it being a dry book. It is not. They have made movies out of many of the figures from the Old Testament, and Moses was a big one. Charlton Heston, Ten Commandments. We were talking about this last night. So, a little bit of housekeeping at the beginning of this stream, and let me go ahead and get it populated on Facebook as well. Boom, boom, doom, doom. And where am I at? Gonna refresh this. We are at the end of the week, and the beginning of the week is gonna start off with a bang. We are going to have my first guest is going to come on. Like I said, is somebody that I would like to continue collaborating with. His name is Eric Roland. I will let him introduce himself to you when he gets on the stream, and like I said, we'll do a brief introductory period where he will basically let you know where he's coming from. I've had in my discussions with him, he is he to me is very down to earth, but very knowledgeable about the Bible, and I think that that's going to create a good dichotomy between me, a person who is reading through the Bible, and most of my learning and study has been limited in scope, that it's just on the Bible, whereas he has gone outside to find research to come up with ways that maybe perhaps we can fill in some of these gaps. And some of his theories are very good. And definitely worth sharing. You may subscribe to it, you might not. That's not the point of this, because what the intention, the big important thing of studying the Bible and having a relationship with God is understanding, having a basis and grounding in the fundamentals of your faith and what God expects of us. All the other stuff that we're talking about, it can help. It helps build interest. It's nice to discuss and perhaps theorize and educate ourselves over things, but it doesn't. But whether we are right or wrong about these things that we think about and that we build up in our head, if as long as we are staying true to the fundamentals of what God, and we are keeping a relationship with Christ, and we are keeping that relationship and honoring God and working to better ourselves, then we're moving in the right direction, and we should be doing that more as a community of Christians than we do. So, with that said, I am very excited, but I've also got my own work I've got to do, because I've got to figure out how to get him on here. and we will see exactly how that's going to. Because I might not use Streamlabs. I might have to find a different medium for this if it's difficult bringing him on. But rest assured, we're going to get this working. And next week is also Christmas, so I plan to have another stream with that. And like I said, I've got a friend who is open to the idea, depending on how his schedule works out, to coming on and kind of just having a Christmas type stream, Christmas themed stream sometime next week, where we can just share our thoughts. And again, he is another person who is very interested in some of the backstories involved with the goings on in the Bible, and he is a very good man of God, and I would love to have him on this stream for you folks. But we will see where that goes. But tonight's part is we're picking up with Moses, and we're starting to get into the part of Moses where we start to recognize things and start doing some continued foreshadowing towards the coming of Christ and what his purpose was, or it has been for us. We are going to start with chapter 4 of Exodus. Boom. Chapter 4 of Exodus, and the signs for Moses, where we last left. When we last left Moses, he was he had been born. The Pharaoh said all the kids that were like him, all the boy Hebrews that were like him, she needed to be killed. His mom hid him away in a cupboard, probably stunting his social social influence. But when he became too big to do that, she put him in a basket and put him into the river and sent him on his way. His sister, not wanting to abandon him fully, followed him down to find out what happened to him. Or maybe she was being a big sister and just hoping to see him maybe hit some rapids or fall off in a waterfall. Don't know. But either way, what she did do was keep her wits about her, because what happened? Moses ends up running into and being discovered by the Pharaoh's daughter. And she says what all women say when they see babies. "Aww, I want one." So she took that one. Moses' sister hopping out saying, "Hey, did you just find this baby? Do you need any help with it? I know somebody who can help take care of it." And goes back and gets Moses' mom. So Moses' mom ends up getting her baby back, right? And from that point, Moses is raised part Hebrew, part Egyptian. So he grows up, which is a pretty weird thing for him, because the Hebrews are slaves of the Egyptians at this point. He somehow is balancing those two sides until one day he sees an Egyptian beating up a Hebrew, and he decides that since nobody's been looking, he's going to kill the Egyptian, which he does. And then that doesn't seem to be a very good idea, because one, Pharaoh finds out, but before that, Hebrews don't even tend to really be thankful for that at all. It didn't seem to bring him any good. And in fact, they ended up mocking him. So Moses, since the Pharaoh wants him dead and tries to kill him, Moses heads out of town and comes across some ladies who were taking care of some livestock. He helps water them, and they take him back to their dad. Their dad marries off one of them to him as payment, as a thanks. I don't know, but that's where we've left him. And now God has said, "Hey, now that you're here and that you've got a family, I have chosen you to do this thing. You're going to lead these people out of slavery and out of the influence of Egypt, and I'm going to put you into the promised land." And Moses says, "Woo, me? I don't know about that, God." God says, God gives him the instructions that he needs. But Moses is going to continue to need more instruction as we go along, because, like I said, He is a man who is unsure of himself. And perhaps maybe that's why he didn't engender himself too much to Pharaoh. Because Pharaoh seems very quick to want to kill him. So Moses might be, just a guy who doesn't account very well of himself from a confidence standpoint. Don't know. He was confident enough to fight and kill that Egyptian. So we'll find out where this story goes as we head into, like I said, Exodus chapter 4, verse 1. Signs for Moses. Moses answered, talking to God, "What if they do not believe me or listen to me and say, the Lord did not appear to you?" Then the Lord said to him, "What is that in your hand?" "A staff," he replied. The Lord said, "Throw it on the ground." Moses threw it on the ground, and it became a snake, and he ran from it. He ran away from a snake. Then the Lord said to him, "Reach out your hand and take it by the tail." So Moses reached out and took a hold of the snake, and it turned back into a staff in his hand. "This," said the Lord, "is so that they may believe that the Lord, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has appeared to you." Pretty neat trick. Moses probably doing, dropping the staff, picking it up, dropping the staff, picking it up. The kid with a new toy. Then the Lord said, "Put your hand inside of your cloak." So Moses put his hand into his cloak, and when he took it out, the skin was leprous and had become as white as snow. "Now put it back into your cloak," he said. So Moses put his hand back into his cloak, and when he took it out, it was restored, like the rest of his flesh. That would have creeped me. That would have creeped me out more than the snake, because snakes never really bothered me. I mean, I don't want to necessarily be around them, but I don't get as apprehensive as most people. But things on my skin, I am terribly allergic to poison ivy. And to the point where, my skin bubbles up and boils and weeps, and it's disgusting, right? And one of the jokes, actually, when I get it sometimes is some of the people joke that I've got leprosy when I have poison ivy. I could not stand that stuff being on my hand. If I put my hand in my cloak and pulled it out and it was, no, disgusting. Then the Lord said, "If they do not believe you or pay attention to the first sign, they may believe the second. But if they do not believe these two signs or listen to you, take some water from the Nile and pour it on the dry ground. The water you take from the river will become blood on the ground." Moses said to the Lord, "Pardon your servant, Lord. I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of tongue and speech." Is that because your mom stuck you in a closet for the first part of your life? The Lord said to him, "Who gave human beings their mouths? Who makes them deaf or mute? Who gives them sight or makes them blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go. I will help you speak and will teach you what to say." But Moses said, how many times are we going to do? Look, I'm sure this is not going to be the last time. God said, when did Abraham or anybody else before him go, "But God," like Moses does? Moses is the penultimate, I can't do this guy at the beginning. He is not confident in himself. It's not for, I think I said this last night, I don't think it's because he doubts God's power. I think he doubts his own ability. So he's not as, and many times we can have this problem ourselves when we feel like God is pointing us into a specific direction, or he's giving us some encouragement to do something. It's not that we doubt, but it's not because we doubt God. We doubt our ability to follow through and be able to accomplish what he intends for us. We're afraid to put ourselves out there. We're afraid of failure, because what bigger failure is it? More so than failing yourself or failing a loved one, than failing God when a task that he has set for you. I can't think of one. But if God is pushing you in a direction, that means that if you by putting yourself out there, you're setting yourself up for succeeding in whatever he has intended. Not that you can really go against his wishes anyway, but it's a lack, like I said, it's a lack of faith in ourselves that can be make things difficult when we're trying to increase our faith and increase our proximity to God. And Moses has this problem here. I think it's very apparent. Moses, he doesn't speak well. This is probably something that people have made fun of. He doesn't speak well. He's not very confident in himself. He knows he's wanted in Egypt. There's a new pharaoh in place, but he was wanted for killing an Egyptian. He doesn't think, and who would? It's very difficult to just go, hey, you were the chosen man to lead folks out of Egypt. We're not talking about Jacob, who is establishing a family. The same thing with Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, even Joseph, where you're just kind of at the beginning and you're building things up. Now that you've had this great, these 12 tribes of Israel that are now huge, and now you're supposed to be basically the guy delivering them out of servitude. And it's not just that you're delivering them out of servitude. You're doing it like as the representative of God. This is a big task. And the Lord, I think, God is being very patient with him. Because God understands us better than we understand ourselves. But he knows when to push us, and he knows when to show grace, because he knows us better than we know ourselves. So he tells him, he goes, look, who made people speak well? Who gave them the ability to speak in the beginning? Who makes people deaf or blind? I'm God. I can do anything. No, don't worry about it. Moses said. But Moses said, pardon your servant, Lord. Please send someone else. Don't want to do this. I don't feel up to it. I feel like I'm getting a lot of self-conscious vibes out of it. But then the Lord's anger burned against Moses, and he said, what about your brother Aaron the Levite? I know he can speak well. He is already on his way to meet you, and he will be glad to see you. You shall speak to him and put words in his mouth. I will help both of you speak and will teach you what to do. He will speak to the people for you, and it will be as if he were your mouth and as if you were God to him. But take this staff in your hand so that you can perform the signs with it. So God, getting irritated, but also God, understanding. Moses got a confidence problem. But God knows deep down Moses is the man to do this and do this work for him. So he's going to say, all right, well, Aaron, very well spoken. He's on his way to meet you right now. Guess what? God already knew this was going to happen, wouldn't he? All-knowing, he already knows. He's irritated. He knew that talking to Moses was going to be an exercise in irritation. Because Moses just can't find the faith in himself. So he's already sent Aaron on his way. Aaron is already on his way up there to talk to him. And Aaron is going to be the right hand of God. So he's the right hand of Moses, and Moses is the right hand of God, their personal messenger at this point. But Moses is still the point man. Moses is still the man with the staff. He's still the man performing the signs and the powers of God. He's still the spokesman for God, if he's not just using a surrogate for the actual speaking. And Moses returns to Egypt. Then Moses went back to Jethro, his father-in-law, and said to him, let me return to my own people in Egypt to see if any of them are still alive. Jethro said, go, and I wish you well, because that's how Jethros speak. Now the Lord had said to Moses and Midian, go back to Egypt, for all those who wanted to kill you are dead. So Moses took his wife and sons, put them on a donkey, and started back to Egypt. And he took the staff of God in his hands. The Lord said to Moses, when you return to Egypt, see that you perform before Pharaoh all the wonders that I have given to you the power to do. But I will harden his heart, so that he will not let the people go. Then say to Pharaoh, this is what the Lord says, Israel is my firstborn son. And I told you, let my son go, so he may worship me. But you refused to let him go, so I will kill your firstborn son. Makes it sound like a bit of a hostage situation now. So he's told Moses to go to Egypt. Moses packs up the family. heads on out. This is the part I'm wondering about. But I will harden his heart so that he will not let his people go. Is that because God wants that to be, or is it the fact that by God telling him to do something, that act is going to harden Pharaoh's heart? This is something else we can come back to, because this is not going to be the first time God alludes to the point that maybe he's influencing people against their will, which I'm very much I'm very much a believer that we are free to make we have free will. We have ultimate free will, and we make these decisions. And this kind of clashes with that a little bit, but I don't know the exact connotations behind here, and I don't know exactly who Pharaoh is either in all this, other than king. He could have already sold his soul. Like, he clearly is not fearing God in this case. He has no pretense on being God, having a relationship with God. We know that the Egyptians at this time feel as though they are either gods or on equal footing with gods. God's not having that. He knows that's not going to work. So perhaps there is a little bit of forced influence there. And then he goes, look, Israel's my firstborn son. I like this. This is very interesting. Israel's my firstborn son. And Israel is the clan that he's chosen. Now, we know now through Christ, all of us are open and welcome in God's kingdom because of Christ. But does that make us the second-born sons? Maybe Israel's the firstborn son. As a firstborn son, I know that means we make a lot of the first mistakes. Israel's going to do some of that too. But God has said, look, you won't let him go. You won't let my firstborn go. I'm going to kill your firstborn. We're serious at this point. At a lodging place along the way, the Lord met Moses and was about to kill him. But Zipporah took a flint knife, cut off her son's foreskin, and touched Moses' feet with it. Surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me, she said. So the Lord let him alone. At the time she said bridegroom of blood, referring to circumcision. The Lord said to Aaron, go into the wilderness to meet Moses. So he met Moses at the mountain of God and kissed him. Then Moses told Aaron everything the Lord had sent him to say, and also about all the signs that he had commanded him to perform. Moses and Aaron brought together all the elders of the Israelites, and Aaron told them everything the Lord had said to Moses. He performed the signs before the people, and they believed. And when they heard the Lord was concerned about them and had seen their misery, they bowed down and worshipped. Okay. Brief pause here. Go back. At a lodging place along the way, the Lord met Moses and was about to kill him. This is a very confusing passage. Again, another point where it would be nice to go back and revisit and find out what is going on in this passage. Why is he irritated about this? I don't know. And what is Zipporah's role in all this? I don't understand it. She circumcises her son, Moses' son, and I'm at a loss right here. I don't know where it really fits in, because it's kind of a one-off. It's a throwaway passage in many senses. Well, that's what it feels like. He goes down there. He's been told to go to Egypt and talk to the Israelites. He stops at this lodging place, and the next thing you know, Aaron going to the wilderness to meet Moses. He met Moses and kissed him. Of course, this also seems like it might be out of order a little bit, because when we talk about this in the beginning, the first part of the chapter, he says Aaron's already on his way. But down here, he's commanding Aaron to go meet Moses. So I'm wondering if something about this is not in the... If there's something we're missing here, that would be a very good thing to explain, because I don't understand it. Why was he about to kill Moses? What was that all about? What did Moses do that pissed God off? Don't know. But whatever happens there, Moses and Aaron meet at the mountain of God, and then they meet with the Israelites. Moses does his staff throwing snake trick, and Aaron does his whole speech masters thing, and the Israelites are happy. Who wouldn't be happy, right? God's coming, and I am His representative, and we are going to get you out of slavery. And I can do this trick. Snake staff. And that's what I'm going to use. But Moses already knows, because what God told him, he ain't gonna. The Israelites aren't going to be let go. Chapter 5, bricks without straw. Afterwards, Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and said, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says: Let my people go, so that they may hold a festival to me in the wilderness." And Pharaoh said, "Who is the Lord that I should obey him and let Israel go? I do not know the Lord, and I will not let Israel go." Oh, yeah, that'll tell him. Again, remember, Pharaoh fancies himself a deity himself. He probably knows deep down he's not, but at the same time, the way he's treated, he's probably got a God complex. And he's not going to be told that he's going to lose all this slavery and free labor in the city. That's probably pretty lucrative for them. Then they said, Moses and Aaron, "The God of the Hebrews has met with us. Now, let us take a 3-day journey into the wilderness to offer sacrifices to the Lord our gods, or he may strike us with plagues or with the sword." But the king of Egypt said, "Moses and Aaron, why are you taking the people away from their labor? Get back to your work." Then Pharaoh said, "Look, the people of the land are now numerous, and you are stopping them from working." See, look, he's worried about productivity. And basically, what are you doing standing around for? What are you doing trying to take these people away? Get back to work. I didn't tell you could take a break. I didn't tell you to come up here and complain. I didn't tell you come up here and ask for new and interest in and made up holidays so that you guys can go play and go camping out in the woods. No, we've got pyramids to build and sand to collect, or whatever they do in Egypt. We've got to do this stuff. And no, just go away. Stop asking me stupid questions. No, I don't know this God of yours. He doesn't impress me. He might impress you, but you can barely talk. You got to get somebody to talk for you. That same day, Pharaoh gave this order to the slave drivers and overseers in charge of the people: "You are no longer to supply the people with straw for making bricks. Let them go and gather their own straw, but require them to make the same number of bricks as before. Don't reduce the quota. They are lazy. That is why they are crying out, 'Let us go sacrifice to our God.' Make the work harder for the people so that they keep working and pay no attention to lies." Now, Pharaoh's pissed. So they got their audience with Pharaoh. They told Pharaoh what they wanted. Pharaoh did not like what they said. And I don't see God's influence here. I see this as just plain hubris getting involved. And I'm in charge. I'm going to bully you. You're not going to tell me what to do. So, we're not going to supply them with the straw they need to make their bricks. They need to go get their own straw for making bricks. But that doesn't give them an excuse to make less bricks. They need to make just as many bricks. And don't let them whine and cry and boo-hoo about this. Just ignore it. Then the slave drivers and overseers went out and said to the people, "This is what Pharaoh says. I will not give you any more straw. Go and get your own straw wherever you can find it, but your work will not be reduced at all." So the people scattered all over Israel to gather stubble to use for straw. The slave drivers kept pressing them, saying, "Complete the work required of you for each day, just as when you had straw." And Pharaoh's slave drivers beat the Israelite overseers they had appointed, demanding, "Why haven't you met your quota of bricks yesterday or today as before?" Then the Israelite overseers went and appealed to Pharaoh. "Why have you treated your servants this way? Your servants are given no straw, yet we are told make bricks. Your servants are being beaten, but the fault is with your own people." Pharaoh said, "Lazy. That's what you are, lazy. That is why you keep saying, 'Let us go make and sacrifice to the Lord.' Now get back to work. You will not be given any straw, yet you must produce your full quota of bricks." Pharaoh's playing games here. Pharaoh's screwing around right now. And I'm sure this is very entertaining to him right now. Let's see how long that's going to be entertaining. The Israelite overseers realized that they were in trouble when they were told, "You are not to reduce the number of bricks required of you each day." When they left Pharaoh, they found Moses and Aaron waiting to meet them, and they said, "May the Lord look on you and judge you. You have made us obnoxious to the Pharaoh and his officials, and put a sword in their hand to kill us." I love that. I love it when it said, "You have made us obnoxious to them." It's like you're now they're pissed off at us, and you've given them you've really just angered them, and now they're taking it out on us, and you've given them all the reason to beat us and hurt us. And you can understand it to a degree. This is not exactly the way the Israelites foresaw their deliverance. They figured it'd probably be pretty clean. God comes in, lays waste, tells all the kids to get out of the pool. I'm running things. We're taking the Israelites. We're going to our promised land. See you, bye. Have a nice life. No, that's not how God operates, and that's not how he's operating here. So, but follow it up. God promises deliverance. Moses returned to the Lord and said, "Why, Lord, have you brought trouble on this people? Is this why you sent me? Ever since I went to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has brought trouble on this people, and you have not rescued this people at all." That's not the end of that portion, but it is the end of... Oh, wait, we're going into the next chapter. That's right. We were going through 6. Sorry. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Now you will see what I will do to Pharaoh. Because of my mighty hand, he will let them go. Because of my mighty hand, he will drive them out of this country." God also said to Moses, "I am the Lord. I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob as God Almighty. But by my name, the Lord, I did not make myself fully known to them. I also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, where they resided as foreigners. Moreover, I have heard the groaning of the Israelites, whom the Egyptians are enslaving, and I have remembered my covenant. Therefore, say to the Israelites, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians. I will free you from being slaves to them, and I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and with mighty acts of judgment. I will take you as my own people, and I will be your God. Then you will know I am the Lord your God, who brought you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians. And I will bring you to the land I swore with uplifted hand to give to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. I will give it to you as a possession. I am the Lord." Moses reported this to the Israelites, but they did not listen to him because of their discouragement and harsh labor. Look, told you this. Warning signs last night. Moses kills the Egyptian because he's beating up a Hebrew. And what do the Hebrews do? They don't go, thank you for sparing me on this. Thank you for keeping this guy from beating me to death. No, the next time the Hebrews are fighting with themselves, he tries to stop it and intervene, and they go, what, are you going to kill us too? Completely not thankful, completely unfaithful in many respects. So, Israelites, a little bit of discouragement. Now they're getting some harsh treatment. What do they go? I'm not listening to you. I'm not listening to you, and I'm not listening to your brother Aaron anymore, who probably said most of that because because what God told Moses was a mouthful. We know Aaron delivered that message. But then the Lord said to Moses, "Go tell Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to let the Israelites go out of his country." But Moses said to the Lord, "If the Israelites will not listen to me, why would Pharaoh listen to me, since I speak with faltering lips?" Really feeling bad for that speech impediment. It's tough. Moses needs some speech coaching. And then now they're going to do the family record of Moses and Aaron. Now the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron about the Israelites and Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he commanded them to bring the Israelites out of Egypt. These were the heads of families. So they're going through the heads of the 12 tribes of Israel: Reubens, Simeons, Levi, Gershon, the sons of Gershon. So this goes by. We're seeing a lot of reading here. Amram, that's a missile, I think. Anyway. Apparently he lived 137 years for some reason. That needs to be mentioned here also. Levi lived 137 years. Kohath lived 133 years, some long-lived folks, but that's not what we're concerned about, really. These are just this is more Hebrew record keeping and genealogy, which is important, but doesn't really come into what we're doing when we're reacting to the Bible, other than people are kids and people are kids and this family tree stuff, and it's not drawn out in a way that makes it compelling. It's just written down. It was this Aaron and Moses whom the Lord said, "Bring the Israelites out of Egypt by their divisions." They were the ones who spoke to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, about bringing the Israelites out of Egypt. This same Moses and Aaron. So Moses and Aaron they're talking about up here in the genealogy. That's what they're referring to. Aaron to speak for Moses. Now, when the Lord spoke to Moses in Egypt, he said to him, "I am the Lord. Tell Pharaoh, king of Egypt, everything I tell you." But Moses said to the Lord, "Since I speak with faltering lips, why would Pharaoh listen to me?" Now, I'm going to break one of my own rules here because I normally don't break chapters in part, but this one really it's awkward. So we're going to go into chapter 7 a little bit. Then the Lord said to Moses, "See, I have made you like God to Pharaoh, and your brother Aaron will be your prophet. You are to say everything I command you, and your brother Aaron is to tell Pharaoh to let the Israelites go out of his country. But I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and though I multiply my signs and wonders in Egypt, he will not listen to you. Then I will lay my hand on Egypt, and with mighty acts of judgment I will bring out my divisions. My people, the Israelites, and the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord when I stretch out my hand against Egypt and bring the Israelites out of it." Moses and Aaron did just as the Lord commanded to them. Good. No back talk, Moses. Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 when they spoke to Pharaoh. Little old, but whatever. Moses is doing all right. But what Moses isn't doing here is, but God, but I don't want to do this, which he is known to do. It's not going to be the last time he does it, but he's put his big boy pants on, and he's doing what he's told, and we're going to find out how this plays out, I guess Tuesday, because unless I do a stream Sunday night, this will be our last stream for the week, and we are going to be talking to Eric, Mr. Roland, on Monday about the Nephilim and what we believe we know about them because of what the Bible says and based off of any other type of reference that's out there. I've been reading over some text that he has provided me for some research that he's done. Very, like I said, very compelling. I love where he goes with this, and I think it'll be good. We'll find out how good of a host on a show that I am when there's somebody else on it, but it's been something I've been wanting to do for a while because I feel like a lot of times, especially because my viewership is very low, and there's not a whole lot of fan interaction, there's not a whole lot of fans to interact with, but because of that, I think that having somebody else in the stream with me to play on will help just the quality of the stream and quality of my show. And like I said, I've spoken to him and listened to him. I think he's a great asset in that respect, and a true man of God, which is always great. It's always great to converse with folks, whether you agree with them or disagree with them on subjects. When you know that who you're talking to is a man who loves God, it's always a pleasure. So, with that said, want you all you guys to have a great weekend. Please tune in Monday. It's going to be around 9:30 Eastern Standard, and we'll be doing that. Like I said, I'm very excited, but I've got a lot of work on my end that I need to do just to make sure that I'm set up correctly and I can be the good host that I am expected to be. So, go forth, have a good weekend, enjoy your time, be safe, and be good. So,